Hello, Greater Portland family and friends. Thank you for tuning in to this website update today. The staff and I pray that you're doing well. And first of all, let me say thank you for helping Greater Portland Baptist Church celebrate Pastor Brad and Kelly McFeeter's 25th anniversary here at GPBC. Your generous love offering, the many notes and cards were a great encouragement and a blessing to them. And by the way, we have posted a thank you letter from them to the church family on the website. Let me encourage you to read it. It will bless you, and thank you again for all that you did. Today I wanted to give you an update on the prospect of our being able to meet again with in-person gathering at GPBC. As I shared on last Sunday, Pacific Justice Institute with attorney Ray Hackey has partnered with almost 100 pastors here in Oregon trying to get our church doors reopened. We rejoice that yesterday the judge in Baker County ruled in favor of PJI and our churches and placed a preliminary injunction invalidating Governor Brown's executive orders to close or limit the opening of in-person church services. This was a tremendous victory, to say the least. However, in just a few short hours after that announcement, the Oregon Supreme Court granted the governor's request for a temporary stay of that injunction, which means that at least for now, we are still under a maximum limit of 25 people in a service with a 6-foot distancing mandate. Now, we have been diligently working on a plan to reopen our doors, but under the current ruling, that is not feasible today. As your pastor, I've shared with you, my staff, and our deacons that there are 3 prerequisites that I believe we must follow in order to open our doors. Let me remind you of them. First of all, we must do it scripturally. We need to pray for our leaders. We need to give honor to whom honor is due, and to our best conscience, according to the scriptures, we need to take and recognize Romans 13 and give honor to the higher authorities. We also need to do it scripturally by recognizing that we must obey God rather than men. At some point, those 2 places must be defined, and we must do this scripturally, number 1. Number 2, we must do it safely. As we come back together, we do recognize that we are living in the midst of a pandemic. And your safety, as well as the safety of your family and anybody that we invite here, we want to make sure that we are careful and given a place and an environment where they can worship freely as well as safely. So we want to do it scripturally, we want to do it safely, and we want to do it strategically. It's not something that's just going to be done if we're going to do what we claim that we want to do. There's lots of preparation. There are lots of things that we have worked on, and we believe we're very close to being prepared to open those doors. Tomorrow night, in our Wednesday night live stream service, I will be revealing our reopening strategy for GPBC. Now, please turn in to our live stream tomorrow night at 7 p.m. as I lay out our plan. And over the last couple of months, I have said we are not going back, we are going forward. And while I will not be giving you a specific date to reopen until we have that confirmed, I will give you the steps that we will be taking to reopen scripturally, safely, and strategically. May I remind you, in order for us to do this successfully, we must do it together. Psalms 133 says, "How good it is for the brethren to dwell together in unity." Please pray that God will give our governmental leaders and our GPBC staff and deacons wisdom to help us as we seek to have our church once again hosting in-person services. Now, currently, we know of 5 families that have been impacted by the COVID virus. There's Teresa Harong, there's Brenda Jackson's brother Hugo, and Linda Pico's parents, Wynn and Vivian Bulch, and then Glenn Iser's mom, Mary Ann Predmore. Thank you for praying for them. At this time, they're all stable and recovering, and we thank God for that. Thank you for continuing to reach out to one another. That text that you sent, or a phone call that you made, or an email that was sent has made a tremendous difference. And once again, I want to remind you, if you need a church directory, just call the church office and we can mail it to you, we can drop it off to you, or you can come by and pick one up. But by the way, they can even email it to you if you need it. Your prayers continue to make a huge difference. And we started a prayer meeting here at GPBC on Tuesday this morning at 11 a.m. We will continue to meet and pray, knowing that what we need from God comes, as He said, by fasting and prayer. So please continue to pray for our members that are on the front line of the medical field in different capacities. There's Rosalie Liggett, also Olga Arvello for Barbara Hurd, Sergio Cruz, Rufus and Dee Johnson, Mary Strickland, Natalie Weaver, Jessica Johnston, Brian Lockhart, as well as Dr. Bob Sason and the Good News Clinic. Please pray for God's protection over these heroes and servants of God. Pastor Scott and Pastor Andrew are doing a wonderful job with our kids and teen ministry. Be sure to tune in to our online Super Church on Sunday at noon and the Teen Ignite Ministries on Sunday at 4 p.m. Also, please remember to pray for our bus and van captains as they endeavor to stay in touch with our children and their families. Although we are unable to bring them to church during this time, we're working and hoping and praying that when the time comes to reopen again, they'll be ready, willing, and we're able to do that. The same is true for our adult children's Sunday school classes and our teachers. Please stay in touch with all of those on your class roll. While we're working hard to do that ourselves as a pastor, teachers, please help us with that. Call your class every week and stay in touch with them. Brother Rick Terrazas and our prison ministry team continue to need our prayers. They're limited to what they can do until this pandemic is past. Please pray that the quarantine will lift soon and they can begin ministering inside of the jails and prison once again. Let me say once again, thank you for your faithful stewardship. It continues to make a huge difference. God is using each of you to meet the needs of our church through the faithful giving of your tithe. Over 100 missionaries remain on the field. And do you know, since we began this pandemic and the quarantine and the live stream services, we have not yet had to miss one payment for our missionaries. God is blessed in a wonderful way. This is our 10th week in doing that. Please continue to be faithful. Many of you have taken advantage of giving in the online opportunities. Some of you have mailed them in. Others have brought them by to the church and dropped them off. We would encourage you, if you'd like to bring them by, we always love to see you. And the church is open on Tuesday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, as we plan for our homecoming, let me help you to know that we are not going back, we are going forward. Until then, as I said last week, let us look for that blessed hope. Give us a call if you need anything, and rest assured that we love you and faithfully pray for you, and we trust that God continues to bless you and your family. Don't forget, tomorrow night at 7 p.m. on the Wednesday night live stream, I will be sharing with you the strategic plan of what it's going to take and what it will look like when we say, come home. God bless you. We love you. If you need anything, call us.